Now, the cards, which have so far been called BritCards, will be used to prove that people have the right to live and work in the UK when applying for jobs. Well, here's a first look at what these digital IDs might look like. This morning we're asking, though, how do you feel about it? Should digital ID be mandatory? Well, to talk about that, joining us is Executive Director of the Tony Blair Institute, Wain, who says they will make it harder for illegal immigrants to come to the UK, and Big Brother Watch's Interim Director, Rebecca Vincent, who thinks that digital ID cards are a further encroachment by the state on all of us citizens' lives. Now, of course, it was Tony Blair that was really keen on this, wasn't he, back in the early noughties, and brought that first 15,000 cards into. So I could imagine working for that institute, you are very well versed with the benefits.
Yeah, and look, I think digital ID is the upgrade that Britain needs and that Britain deserves. I think it's really simple, and your viewers will get this straight away, that we need to make life as difficult as possible for people who shouldn't be here, and life as easy as possible for people who should. And a digital ID is the enabler of doing that.
So how will it control illegal immigration, in your view? Just lay that stall out and then we'll come to Rebecca.
Of course. So if you think about the pull of the UK to illegal migrants, people who are risking their lives across the channel, it's so they can slip into the informal labour market, so they can work illegally. What digital ID does is it stops people being able to not just work illegally, but live illegally. So you can't open up a bank account. You can't send money back home. All of those pull factors that make people want to risk their lives across the channel. And the gangs, by the way, they absolutely get this, because they are selling not just across the channel to vulnerable people in France. They're selling fake passports, and a digital ID just puts an end to all of that.
But hang on, if you can get a fake passport, maybe you can get a fake digital ID. And in other countries, they have sort of bypassed their system. They've still got people working in the black economy and doing jobs they're not supposed to be doing that aren't registered. So it's still happening, even when there are ID cards in place.
It's still happening, but it makes it a lot harder, and it's going to be a lot more difficult, given the technology we've got at our disposal, to create a fake digital ID as opposed to a fake passport. But look, there is no silver bullet to the immigration challenge. We just need to do everything that we can to get control back of our borders. And also, talking about digital ID, not just as a tool around immigration, but again, as most people in the country have started to recognise, as a way of making life much easier for people who want to access services in Britain.
Rebecca, this is going to make life easier for a lot of people. I mean, technically, we have to carry our driving licences around anyway. We've had sort of things like the NHS app, COVID app. We're sort of almost there in some ways. This is going to put everything in one universal place. It's going to be a good thing, isn't it?
Absolutely not. From a privacy and civil liberties perspective, this will frankly be a dystopian nightmare. A mandatory digital ID would fundamentally reverse the nature of our relationship as citizens with the state. It will insert the state into many everyday interactions that the state has no business being in. It will upend the presumption of innocence and create a burden on the vast majority of us who are law-abiding people in the interest of getting at a small few. We don't think that this will do what they say it's going to do, and it's not just about illegal immigration.
But if you are a law-abiding person, and at the moment we share our details all the time now, especially on the internet, you're always giving your details away just to buy stuff. I mean, have you got anything to really worry about? I mean, this is good practice, isn't it? We're trying to be law-abiding and just follow the system. And it might flush out those people that are doing things that are unscrupulous and illegal.
Well, we think it won't actually do much in the way of tackling illegal immigration. Fundamentally, these proposals misunderstand the pull factors that bring people here. If we look at examples of countries such as France that do have this, it has not done anything significant to reduce unauthorized migration. But it does, again, put the burden on all of us. It will force us into a vast online system that will capture troves of sensitive personal data. We've seen how the government has handled things like the e-visa system, which has been plagued by system failures and inaccuracies. We have no indication that this will be any different, and people do rightly have concerns about how their
Rebecca,
data will be protected.
This sounds like a fantastic dystopian sci-fi novel, but it does not reflect the reality. We have outdated public services. If you want to prove your ID, who you are to open up a bank account, as I'm trying to do, get my child into school. You send over these bank statements where you have to scribble out your transactions. You have to show it with your passport anyway. I used to work in Sainsbury's. When I checked someone's ID to see how old they were showing me not just that they were over 18, but where they lived, their date of birth. A digital ID changes that.
But, Ryan, what about something like profiling? You know, is there a day... Like, let's say me and you are in a queue together, you know, and they're doing some random checks. Am I more likely to get checked because I might look like I could be an illegal immigrant because I might have arrived recently? I mean, is that an issue?
Well, I think that conflates different things. So that is how you check people, and that takes you into the sort of stop and search debate. This is a great leveller. We all have a digital ID, and if you've got the right to work here when it comes to sign up for an employer or you know, that you're able to rent a property, your digital ID shows you that. But this is not about a mandatory digital ID in the sense that of checking your papers or a policeman on every street wants to do that.
No, but it will be a checkpoint society. I'm sorry, if not on the corners, it's not... Well, it is dystopian, I agree, but it's the reality that we're being forced into now, presumably by the Labour government, if Keir Starmer's announcement goes how we think it will be. It might not be police on the street corners, but it will be digital checkpoints. It will be a checkpoint society.
OK, we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. The debate continues, but it looks like it is happening.
Yeah, and we asked you at home if you think digital ID should be mandatory for every adult in Britain. 20% say yes, 80% say no. So you've still got some cases to prove there, haven't you?
Keep having a debate.
Yeah. But interesting, it looks like 80% will have no choice because I think Starmer's about to announce it later.